you have Scottish ancestors and you don't know how to begin researching them, fantastic, we're going to talk about that next. Howdy, I'm Devin Noel Lee with Family History Fanatics, and many of you on our channel keep asking, how do you begin with Scottish research? Well, I've come to an expert, Jacqueline Trich, with Legacy Tree Genealogists, and she's going to give us some tips. How are you today?
I am good. Thank you so much for having me. Scotland is a wonderful place to research. The records are divine. They're one of the best record sets in all the countries that we research. So, FamilySearch has a great wiki, and it's a great place to start in Scotland. What you'll want to do is you'll want to search by the county if you know what county your family is from. And when you first bring up the wiki, what you're going to see is a map, and so it will orient you to where your county is in Scotland. And it will also tell you a little bit about your county and what's available for your county, not just what's available at the Family History Library or what's available through the FamilySearch system, but it will also tell you what is available throughout the world and where those record collections are located.
I'm a big fan of wiki pages, so I'm really glad that was tip number one. Go and check out the wiki pages.
And then underneath the county is a hyperlink to a wiki page for each parish. And you'll want to make sure you know what the parish number is. Scotland is wonderful. They've numbered all their parishes. That way, if you see a Gaelic spelling or a misspelled parish, you'll still know you're looking in the right place because you have the parish number.
Really?
It's awesome.
I haven't done much research in Scotland. That's just amazing.
Right, and if you see a number that is not a whole number, for example, if you see number 542.1, you'll know that the 0.1 parish was cut from parish number 542.
Ah,
so it will help you to know where to go before that parish existed.
All right, what's tip number 2?
Tip number 2 is also from FamilySearch. It is the FamilySearch Historical Collection. There are really nice databases there. The databases include church records and census records and lots of different things that are available. When you open a record or when you look at the catalog, what you'll want to be sure is to look at the little icons by the film numbers. If you see a magnifying glass, that tells you that that film has been indexed. And so if you look in the indexed records, you'll find whatever was on that film. If the film has a little key, all that means is that you need to view those images from a FamilySearch site. Not necessarily the Family History Library. You can go to a local satellite family history site. The search engine at FamilySearch is very intuitive and will help you locate records not only at FamilySearch, but it will help you find name variants of your family. One of the things that's really wonderful about the FamilySearch search engine is you can use a wildcard at the beginning. For example, if you have a surname, maybe Haycock, well, it might be Haycock or maybe Ayecock with an E on the end, or maybe not. So you can put a wildcard, which is the asterisk, at the beginning. So you can put in asterisk, Cock, asterisk.
Okay.
So you're going to get anything with Haycock after some letters, and whether or not there's letters after the cock. So you'll find things in the FamilySearch search engine that you won't find in using other search engines.
All right, that was tip number 2. What's tip number 3?
Okay, tip number 3 is Scotland's People. Scotland's People is a website that's also an official repository of Scotland. Scotland's People is a pay-per-view site. What you need to do is order credits. You pay for credits in advance, and then each time you look at a record, it costs different amounts of credits. A basic record is about 6 credits. There's no price break if you order more or less credits. So what I like to do is I like to order lots of credits when there's a good exchange rate. When you look at a record in an index, it usually only includes a partial amount of what's actually available on their record. As a professional genealogist, I always want to see everything that's on their record.
Absolutely.
So what I find with Scotland's people is even though their records cost 6 credits, which is about $1.50 for the US, it's so much faster than rolling microfilm. And so I would rather spend my $1.50 and get the record I need and go ahead and move on with my research.
Because you're going to be getting that specific record. I know in the days gone by when I ordered microfilm, it was $7, and you had no idea if your name was on there. But at least you're going to get a name based on that index and get that actual record. So I think it's well worth the money spent. Don't you agree?
I do agree, and I'm a big fan of Scotland's people. The search engine is fairly intuitive, but what I do is I like to use it in tandem with the FamilySearch search engine, because the FamilySearch search engine is just a little bit better. And so I never want to get a false negative. And what I mean by a false negative is I want to never say a record was not found when it really was there.
Okay.
That is not what I want to happen. In Scotland, records are wonderful because, for example, on FamilySearch, when they're indexed, it will tell you, for example, if you're looking at a civil registration record, which is births, marriages, and deaths, it will tell you the name of the child and the name of the parents. But if you go look at the actual record, it's amazing because it'll tell you not only the name of the child and the birth date, it will tell you the father's occupation, where the family lived, it will tell you the mother's name and the mother's surname. And are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm getting goosebumps.
It will tell you when and where the parents got married.
Oh, that's good.
That is really good. So then you can just hopscotch right up your ancestry tree just because of those wonderful records in Scotland's people. And also when you get back into church records, you're going to find that, not always, but for the most part, it actually lists the mother's maiden name.
You know, my husband does some British Isle research, and it's always difficult to figure out which child goes with same name ancestors, and having that marriage date would be a fantastic pinpoint to get people separated who have the same name. That's fantastic. I can see why you would like that.
Yes, and you can also separate families by the occupations of the father and the actual addresses where they lived.
The address is where they lived.
So even if you have a similar couple, they're not going to have the same address and they're not going to have the same occupation.
Wow, you guys are lucky. I am jealous now.
Yes, Scotland is wonderful.
That's what you said, and you've delivered.
One thing you don't really think about sometimes when you're doing genealogy, and which is a wonderful collection on Scotland's people, is the wills and testaments. A testament is different from a will because a testament is personal property and a will is land.
Okay, yeah.
So you'll find lots of testaments on Scotland's people, and a person didn't need to have a lot of assets to leave a testament. For example, they'll leave their clothes and their books, and that will be the extent of the testament, but it will still list their children.
I love that. That is so exciting. I want to go see if I have any Scottish ancestors. I don't think I do, but I'm going to have to find somebody's tree just so I can come check out these records.
Scotland is a wonderful place to research. Tip number 4, are you ready? Is the National Library of Scotland, which has a large digital database that you can search for free from the United States or from other countries such as Australia or wherever you are in the world. These documents are wonderful. They include old newspapers. You know, when we read a newspaper today, we're reading about, what's happening in another country, what's happening on the other end of the world. That is a new invention of the Associated Press. Before the Associated Press, newspapers considered articles such as Mrs. Smith's little girl has the mumps,
Yes.
or Sally Jane had a dinner party and she served pie with dinner.
Right. Absolutely. And
Right.
then named her guests were.
And names her guests, such as her sister, and then you'll know that her sister's married name. So periodicals are very important because they talk about occupations and different members of different guilds. And you'll want to always be sure to check any newspapers that are available. One thing that's important about the National Library of Scotland is its military collection. The Library of Scotland has a large collection. It's over 14 million records.
Wow.
Wow.
All right, so tell our viewers how they can get some extra help researching their relatives through Legacy Tree Genealogists.
Well, for more information on Legacy Tree Genealogists and how our team and network of worldwide researchers can help you through your brick walls, just visit our website, which is legacytree.com, and we would be happy to provide a free consultation. We also have our own wiki. I know you're a fan of wikis. And we have our own blog. So you can go ahead and visit our website and learn lots of information and tips for free.
Be sure to check out the description section of this video for links for all of the great resources that were shared, as well as a link to Legacy Tree Genealogists so they can help you climb your family tree.